Hello everyone. I can see that some people are already joining. So we will wait for 20 more seconds and we will start. Okay, I think slowly we can start. So hello everyone. Hello once again. My name is Michał Maziarczyk. For those who don't know me, because we are doing this webinar for the Polish market and also for the agencies from Baltic states. I'm representing all of the Liberty offices worldwide. And today we will be moving to two great countries, which is Argentina. And Natalia will tell you some more details about the country, about the possibilities, about the current situation. And also Joanna from Chile. So we will talk about the mice product, also leisure products, but the main focus will be rather mice. And also new products that are existing and that might be interesting for your future groups. So to start, I would like to first start with the current situation, which is most essential for most of us. So if you can tell us, ladies, how the current epidemic situation look like, what is the governmental approach, and what are the predictions for the future and for the tourism traffic?
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Natalia from Liberty South America. And Michal, talking about Argentina, and I can tell you that right now we are still in lockdown. So there are no measures yet. The only thing that we know is that the government has said that flights are starting in September. If the situation gets better, it might be August. But honestly, right now, there are still no measures as regards tourism. So we are still going through this pandemic and we are trying to lower the curve. And as you know, in South America, it started later than in Europe and in some other continents. So that is why we are going a bit slower than the rest, okay? The situation appears to be under control in Argentina, so we are doing good. But it is a bit early right now for us to have some policies on how this will be.
Well, and what about Chile?
Yes, well, here in Chile, we're going through a peak of confirmed cases. That's the reality. As Natalia mentioned, here in South America, we began with this 2 months ago. So here in Chile, the quarantines are very focused. For example, Gran Santiago is in quarantine since 2 weeks ago only. The other things are under control also. Government are taking measures like buying new technology to try the cases. We have a very low rate of mortality. That's a good point. Independent of the quantity of the cases confirmed, they are medically well controlled. And about flights, we are very depending on the other airlines, like regional airlines that will begin to fly. Santiago will be the main destination that they will take, and maybe June or July we will have our airport again operative.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned airlines, and recently I've read an article about the possibility of LATAM Airlines bankruptcy. Can you also comment it? Maybe you have some additional information.
Yes, LATAM tried to get to Chapter 11 from United States to avoid bankruptcy. Our local government is very interested that that doesn't happen, because not also is the local and the national airline, but also economically is very important for our economy local. So it's important to give support. So I guess this thing or this law that they are taking is more related to avoid a bankruptcy and prepare a payment plan that be possible for all of the participants in this.
Mm-hmm.
They are still operating. The minimum operation that they have is still going on.
Yeah, I think we are all crossing our fingers for the good decision
Yes,
there.
please.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, because also it makes it very problematic to go around the country if you have the round trips, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. Yes, LATAM has many connections and very well connections and very well rates, very nice rates. So we don't want to think that we won't have LATAM in the future.
Yeah, and it is the most important airline in South America, let's say, because you have LATAM, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Peru. It's everywhere. So really, it's very important. And their flights, I mean, they get to places where nobody gets. So it's paramount to have them.
Mm-hmm. And before we start, just last question from my side. Can you tell us, because we have many offices in Latin America, can you tell us how you cooperate? How does it look like with the payments, presentations, and the product itself? When the client, for instance, would like to combine the trip Chile, Argentina, Brazil, for instance, or Colombia. So how do you solve it, and how do you normally do this kind of products?
Well, in fact, we have a slide for this, okay? So Lau, if we can go to the second slide, we have a map in which we show all the offices that we have in South America. So we have 5 physical offices, which are the ones mentioned here to the right, but which are the same that you can see in the map. For example, we have one in Colombia that is in Cartagena. With this one, we cover Panama, Colombia, and Ecuador. The next one is Peru, in Lima. We cover Peru and Bolivia. Then we have another one in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The fourth is in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, which also covers Uruguay and Paraguay. We all work together. So if a client needs to make a payment, for example, for a combined trip that is Argentina and Chile, they make the payment only through one office. They do not need to be communicating and like wasting, we can say, their time talking to people in each office and all that. So we do everything internally, and for the client, it's very convenient because they save time, and we do everything that they need. Payment, communication, anything that is necessary.
Perfect. So in the end, to sum it up, when there is a combination needed, you will get one product. So you will get the presentation and cost calculation for both countries, and in the end, the payment will also go through one office, which is also very convenient.
Exactly. What we do, we send directly just one proposal in which you have the different rates for the different countries, but the itinerary, the program, the details, everything all together. And then we continue working like this, just communication with one staff of one of the offices, and the same for the payment.
Perfect. Great to hear. And already we have many possibilities and opportunities to work together with many groups, and actually the round trip groups, and it worked very well. So hopefully the borders will be open soon, and
hopefully
soon
yeah, definitely.
So ladies, I think we will start with Argentina. So Natalia, I pass my voice to you now, and enjoy.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but I'll turn off the video because my connection is not very good, okay? So the image sometimes get frozen. You will hear my voice, okay? Lau, sure. Can we go to the map, please, again? I'd like to, thank you. So here, you can see that this is South America. Argentina is at the tip of South America, okay? So it is the southmost country in the world, we can say, together with Chile. Okay, and in Argentina, we have the southmost city in the world that is called Ushuaia. After that, you only have Antarctica in the world. So that is what we call Patagonia, that is that region, the end of the world, okay? Now, talking about flights, unfortunately, we do not have direct flights from Poland, but we do have direct flights from most European capital cities. So the best connection to get to Buenos Aires, which is the capital in Argentina, and you can see spotted on the map, would be with Lufthansa through Frankfurt, but you also have connections with Air France, with KLM, with British Airways, with Iberia. So in that sense, it is very easy to get access to Argentina, okay? So now we can continue with the different slides. So only the presentation, perfect. The next one is about our staff in the Buenos Aires office, okay, the people that will work for you. And then we go to the next one that is an emblematic place in Buenos Aires. Those of you who have been to Buenos Aires know this place very well. It is Caminito. And with this, I'd like to talk about the different reasons why you should visit Argentina, okay? First of all, the diversity that we have. It is not only diversity as regards nature, landscapes, climate, reliefs. In Argentina, you have subtropical forests in the north. You have deserts to the northwest. You have Patagonia with ice during the whole year in the south. But as well, you have the sea, you have mountains, you have rivers, lakes. In addition, you have everything related to our culture and history. We have celebrities such as Evita Perón related to our history, football players, even the Pope, okay? So we have many interests as regards to that. And related to culture as well, we have an ingredient that cannot be missing in any trip, that is music and dance, and we have tango. So passionate and sensual dance that you cannot miss, and that is another reason to go to Argentina. And finally, what you always need to spice up a good experience, that is good beverage and good food, and we also have that. We have wine. Our Malbec has been awarded as the best Malbec in the world many times, and we have food. Argentina is very famous for the best meat in the world, okay? So these are just some of the reasons why you should go to Argentina. Can we continue, Lau?
Sometimes it's the main reason for the fights between you and Brazilians, which meat is the best. Am I right?
I'm sorry, but everybody knows that it is in Argentina. The best meat is in Argentina. You know that, Michal.
This kind of answer, of course.
Okay, so here just an introduction with some very nice pictures about Argentina. I'm sorry, I didn't say this before, but I don't have time, we don't have time to go in detail to every picture because this needs to be short and concise, okay? But here you can see some very nice landscapes in Patagonia, couple dancing tango, then the Congress here at the top, at the bottom left, okay? So pictures from Buenos Aires. The next one, then I will talk about the different products in detail, so more pictures about Buenos Aires, the flamingos in Patagonia as well. The next one now. This is just an introduction. Okay, and we get to Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is the capital city and the hub for all the flights, okay? The previous picture was about Puerto Madero. Puerto Madero is our port, in fact, in Buenos Aires, and it is a very nice area. It has been refurbished and renovated following the Docklands in London. So we can say that it is a copycat of the Docklands in London, and right now it is a posh, high-end area in the city, okay? And this bridge, which this modern structure, it is called the Woman's Bridge, and it's a landmark. Everybody goes there to take pictures and all that. So remember Puerto Madero because it is one of the places to which you go for dinner, for lunch, to have a navigation, sunset navigation and all that, okay? Next one. So why Buenos Aires? For the people who have not been in Buenos Aires you can have the perfect combination of European architecture, European style elegance, together with American flavors. So in Buenos Aires, you have this mix, this combination, which makes it so attractive. In Buenos Aires, if you're walking through the streets in Buenos Aires, you can see, as in these pictures here, people dancing or singing tango in the streets. It is very appealing, really. And for example, here, I can start mentioning specifically the different tours that we have. First of all, and something very important, not only about our office in Buenos Aires, but about Liberty South America in general. Almost anything is possible for us, okay? So we can do everything that you need. In terms of, I will mention the different tours, and you might think, well, this is just a city tour. Okay, it might be a regular city tour for a leisure group, but we can always provide an extra ingredient, an exclusive thing that you need to make it special for your clients, okay? So we can customize almost an experience, privatize whatever you need to make it exclusive, to make it something that your clients will never forget, okay? So here are a few pictures as regards to different options. The first one is about Evita Perón tomb in Recoleta Cemetery. Evita Perón is a celebrity known all around the world. There is an opera about her. There is a movie, Hollywood movie about her as well. And she's very famous. She's a political character. She was the wife of one of our most important presidents, Perón, General Perón, okay? And in Buenos Aires, we also have her museum. So for example, for groups that are interested in history, we have had a private lunch at the Museum of Evita Perón, just to give you an example, okay? So these are the different things that you can do. The next picture is about Caminito, as I was telling you. In the previous slide, the colorful one, this is Caminito. Caminito is in La Boca, one of our historical and emblematic districts, because there the port is located. So all the immigrants that entered Argentina in the past entered through this port. And in this area is where tango was born. So you can walk along Caminito, you can have lunch in these conventillos, which were the typical houses there in the past. There are many different options, and of course, everybody needs to take a picture here in this place. So this is always included in our city tour. And then if you check the picture at the bottom right, where you can see the horse, those are our gauchos. The gauchos are the native people of the countryside. And we also have tours for that. You go to an estancia, a big state, countryside outside the city. You spend the whole day there. You have music and dance. They perform on the horse, and you have lunch, which is asado. Asado is our barbecue, okay, with this good meat that I was mentioning. Everything that I am mentioning can be privatized, or during your city tour, you can have a couple dancing tango, especially for your group. This couple can also welcome you at the airport or at the hotel if you need it. So there are plenty of options, okay? Can we go to the next one? So if we check the next slide, we also have more special activities. I was talking about tango. So as regards tango, you can have the usual tango tour, let's say, in which you go to a tango house, you have dinner, and you watch the marvelous show. That is one option. If you want to make it more interactive, let's say, you can go earlier to the tango show, and you can have a private lesson on tango. So you have your lesson, maybe you have some wine tasting as well, and then you get to the show for dinner and watching the show. But what we are including now, we started working with some experiences, let's say, because there are many people around the world that do not want to go to Buenos Aires and just do what all tourists do. So we have started working with experiences and with authentic things, what locals do, let's say. So we have something that is called milonga crawling. Milonga is the place where real locals go and dance every week. So it is not something just for tourists. So you can get to the milongas and you can learn to dance there, and you can actually interact with local people and dance, and you get to one milonga and you have one drink and you get to another one. So you can go milonga crawling on one night, or you can go just to one milonga, stay there, enjoy a good wine, okay? So these are the different options as regards tango. In the past, it used to be like you go have dinner and watch the show, okay? Now you can do it more interactive and authentic at the same time, okay? So these are good options. Also, talking about wine tasting, for example, you can have wine tasting with tango, or you can have a private session of the best wine, premium wine tasting with jazz show, okay? So Argentina is not only tango, even though of course it is the most important music and dance that we have in the country because it is our national music. But you can also have a jazz show, okay? Or any other kind of music that you need, and we can have a private band playing jazz for you, for your group, okay? Then if you check in the picture, you have some other experiences. We have La Boca Stadium, okay? So this is related to football. Almost everybody knows about football. Argentina is famous for football. So we also have tours that focus on football. You can go and visit the museum. You can go and stand on the field. You can have some football players that welcome you at the airport or at the hotel. You can have a private lunch or dinner with some football players, and your clients, your passengers can be playing football with them. We have plenty of options as regards to this, no problem. You can also go around the city and visit the different football stadiums. Then we also have an overflight, okay? This is possible in almost all the touristic destinations in Argentina, okay? Overflight here in this nice picture around the city. Then we have vintage cars. This is something that we offer that is very good. That, for example, it can be for a transfer, or it can be to take someone to a tango show. I remember I was with a client in Buenos Aires a few years ago, and it was a surprise for her because she didn't know about this. I met her at the tango show, and she told me, wow, I had a transfer in one of those beautiful cars. So she was astonished because she was expecting a regular car, and when she left her hotel, it was one of these vintage cars picking her up and taking her to the tango show. So this is also a good detail. And the last picture is about Colón Theater. Colón Theater has been awarded the best acoustic in the world many times. It is a masterpiece of architecture, really. And we also offer tours, regular tours, private tours. So it is also a very good option. It's always included in our city tours. Lau? So if we continue, if I continue talking about Buenos Aires, of course, we have anything that is related to walking tours, biking tours, tours focused on architecture, sports, arts, street art. We even have a tour that is the Pope tour, in which you go and you visit the neighborhood in which the Pope was born, and so on. And what is more, we have had clients from Poland, pilgrim groups, which, and they have taken this tour, okay? So I think it might be appealing to some of your clients because we have already have this group for like about 2 or 3 years, in fact. Specifically talking about mice, this slide, I won't read the slide because it would take a long time, okay? But for you to know that we have many different event venues. We have events with, venues with different capacities from big to small. Some of them in Puerto Madero, which is this posh area. Some of them in Tigre, which is in the suburbs of the city, and it is the Delta where you have a river, beautiful views, okay? The next one now. In the next picture, next slide, you will see some different pictures of the different venues, okay, where you can have your event. So you have Sky Bar, which is modern and posh, and at the same time you have palaces from the 19th century, and at the same time you can have a museum, which is the last picture bottom right, okay, a museum that has a capacity of about 1,000 people. So in terms of venues for your event, we have plenty of options in addition to the hotels, okay? So these are venues or rooms that are not placed in hotels, but of course, in addition, we have all the hotels in Buenos Aires. You can have all the international chains. I think we don't have a picture here, but we also have the Four Seasons, and we also have all the hotels that are 4-star, okay? So we work with luxury, exclusive standards. We also work with regular, like standard category, and we also work with reduced budgets. So in that sense, your clients have a lot of options to choose. It is not only that we will work with luxury, okay? So you have plenty of options to choose. Can we move on? I think in the next one, we are going exactly. So we are leaving Buenos Aires now, which is the capital in the center of the country. Lau, please go back to the previous one, because I want to show the map. So we are going to Iguazu, to the falls. If you can see in the map, it is marked in orange there, northeast, okay? So there is where the falls stay. The falls are a limit. We share the falls, Argentina and Brazil, okay? And in that part, we have 3 countries. You have Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay, okay? A flight from Buenos Aires to the falls is about 2 hours, 1 hour and 15 minutes to 2 hours, okay? And we have many different flights a day. The connections are very good. Yeah, now we can move to the next one. So I don't know if you know about the falls, but the falls are one of the 7 natural wonders, okay? And they are really, in fact, they are a wonder. If you haven't been there, I can tell you that the views, I mean, the place is breathtaking. In addition to that, near the falls, you have Itaipu Dam, which is the second dam in the world. I mean, the second largest dam in the world. And what can you do in the falls? Okay, so you can visit the bird park, which is on the Brazilian side. Oh, important detail. The falls are shared. The falls that you go touristically, shared between Argentina and Brazil. It is very easy to cross from one country to the other, okay? So either if you stay on the Argentinian side or if you stay on the Brazilian side, most probably, and if you have time, and I hope so, you will visit both sides of the falls, okay? So you always see the Brazilian side, which is more panoramic. From there, you can see all the falls. And then you go to the Argentinian side, in which you are really actually immersed in the falls. Because on the Argentinian side, you have some catwalks, and you walk until the Devil's Throat. That is the one that you can see here on the bottom left. That is the Devil's Throat, okay? That is the highest part of the falls, and really it is amazing. As you can see here in the picture as well, you can take a boat and you go under the falls. So you take this boat and you get under the waterfalls and you get all wet, soaked wet, but everybody loves it because in the falls, it's always hot and wet. That is why sometimes some people prefer not to go in the summer because it is really very, very hot. It is subtropical forest, okay? And that is what is very, how can I say, appealing about Argentina as well. At the same time, you have the subtropical forest at the waterfalls in the northeast, and you have Patagonia with the ice in the south. So, for example, it is January, which is summer for us, and you are so hot in the falls and you are freezing in Patagonia, okay? So that is something kind of funny sometimes for people that have just one season in one country. Okay, so we have many seasons in the same country at the same time. Next one, please. And so we have some special activities. There is no picture here, but we have a very nice activity in Iguazu and also in Buenos Aires that is called Argentine Experience. And Michal was talking to me about that one. Michal, have you done that?
I've done that, and I strongly recommend it because I know how important food is for the Polish people. So from my perspective, it's very well done cooking classes. It's a combination of everything which is traditional and good in terms of quality. So you actually don't feel the time is passing. It's amazingly done. It was done by one of the professional actors in Iguazu. The only disadvantage of this experience is that it's up to 30 people, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the one in Iguazu, we can get about 40, okay? And the one in Buenos Aires, about 50, okay?
Yeah. So
that is the only thing.
It's more for the medium groups than the big groups, but the experience itself, it's really, really amazing. After that, you are full of experience and full of great wine and food. So really strongly recommended. You can Google it. It's called the Argentinian Experience Cooking Classes.
And Michal, you even, like participants, even cook some part of the food they are going to eat. And you are awarded a prize for the best empanada, that is a meat pie. So it is very nice, interesting, appealing. Everybody loves it.
I remember that I won the award for the ugliest dumpling that was ever made. So I guess that my skills are
next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
It was good in the end, but in terms of aesthetics, not really.
Okay, so the taste was good, but not the image. The aesthetics was okay.
Exactly.
So this that we are mentioning is one of the experiences, but we have many other experiences. We have something that is new and that is very good, and that is a full moon walk in the national park. So on the days of full moon, in fact, they choose like 4 or 5 nights during the full moon. You go to the park at night and you walk inside the national park at night, and it is an amazing experience. This they have been doing for about like 2 or 3 years, okay? So it is something that is new. And of course, the only thing is that you need to coincide with these specific dates, okay? But this is something that is very nice, really. Another thing is, of course, related to flying over flights. These ones are made in helicopter. Then you have a very nice, on the top right, you have a very nice venue that is called Aripuca. This is a very good place for private dinners, private lunch. You have typical music, you have a dance show, okay, made by locals, which are the Guarani Indians, okay, so the native people there. You can even have a choir of Guarani children singing for you, so it is really special. And something very nice for mice as well are the 2 pictures at the bottom right. This is inside the national park. So this is in the place that is called Two Sisters, the Two Sister Waterfalls. And there you can have a private breakfast or lunch for your group. So we can privatize this area inside the national park. And as you can see in the pictures, you can have lunch or breakfast there, which is really super because of the views, and you are there inside the nature, and to have this only for you is really amazing. We have done it with some groups, and of course they have loved it, okay? So this is a very nice idea as well. And of course, in Iguazu and everything that is related to the national parks and in the area, you have plenty of sports and eco activities, like you can go canopy, or you can go biking, walking, trekking. So many options as regards to this. And the same we will see as regards Patagonia, okay? So these places are very appealing for everything that is related to sports and eco activities, okay? Can we go to the next one? Lau. I think the next one is about some hotels. Okay, so just for you to have an idea, okay, we have very nice hotels. There is only one 5-star hotels on the Argentinian side, and it is inside the national park. It is this one, the Gran Meliá Iguazú, the one that is top right. And there you have a swimming pool with an infinite border, and from there you can actually see the Devil's Throat. So this is really breathtaking. It is amazing for a luxury group, for an exclusive group. Really, this is the suggested hotel. Then we have very good options in general, 4-star, 4-star superior.
Gran Meliá used to be a Sofitel before, right?
It was Sheraton. It was Sheraton. Yes. Yes, it was Sheraton, and it was fully renovated, okay? Now, we travel to the south. So we were in the northeast, on the tip, with the border with Brazil, and now we go to the south. So, unfortunately, there are no direct flights from the falls to Calafate or Patagonia, okay? But we have direct flights from Buenos Aires, of course, and it will take about 3 hours to get from Buenos Aires to Calafate, okay? Calafate is in Patagonia. It is the glaciers region, as you can see here. And it is famous because of the most famous glacier, which is Perito Moreno. Perito Moreno is not the biggest glacier, okay? This is important to mention because many people think it's the biggest one, but it is very famous, and also it is easy accessible. So that is why everybody gets there. Now, you can see some pictures here. You can see this massive ice. It is really amazing, amazing. Patagonia is important because of the landscapes and also because of the food. There we have also barbecue, but we have lamb barbecue. So the Patagonian lamb is the most exquisite dish in Patagonia. Here you can have some pictures. So as regards Calafate and the glacier, we have navigations, okay? So navigation is something that it is a must there. You must go on sailing in the Lake Argentino, Argentinian lake, okay? Lago Argentino. And we have different kinds of navigations. You have a short navigation, which is only 1 hour. And you also have long navigations, which are about 5 hours, and you pass by different glaciers. So not only Perito Moreno, but also Stegazzini, Uppsala, okay? And as regards to this, we have a combination of navigation and, for example, walking on the catwalks, as you can see on the top right. So you have these walking paths, and you have these different viewpoints, okay? And so you can watch the glacier from very near. And this glacier has a special particularity. It breaks down. So maybe you are there, as has happened to me, you are there standing, enjoying the landscape, and a big piece of ice falls down, and it is like a blast. And you get astonished with the sound and everything, and it is marvelous show, okay? So this is something that you cannot miss.
No, if I can add something, from my perspective, yes. Patagonia is must see, definitely, because the people from the big cities, they really have a need to feel the nature. So from my perspective and personal experience, it was really something unbelievable. Being so close to the nature, feeling the sounds. And as you mentioned, we were very lucky because there was the big ice rock coming down to the Argentinian lake, and it is really amazing. It feels like the storm is coming, but it's actually the sound of the ice falling down. So just to give you an example, the main wall of the Perito Moreno is more than 70 meters tall, right?
You're right, exactly.
Yeah. So you can see the perspective of the human being and the Perito Moreno wall, and it's extremely unbelievable and massive. So highly
huge,
recommended.
Massive. Yeah, definitely. So, and this one, as you were saying, Michal, is about 70 meters high. But then if you go on the navigation, you get to Stegazzini Glacier, which is 130 meters high. So that is really huge, and you get very near the glacier. So this is an experience that you cannot miss. And also, as Michal was mentioning, the nature, okay? So nature is like the most important point here in Patagonia and in the other places in Argentina as well. But here you can be in constant contact with nature. You have many options as regards horse riding, canopy, kayaking, trekking. So everything is related to interaction with the water, with the lakes, rivers, mountains that we have there, okay? So it's an amazing proposal. And here, I forgot to tell you, bottom right, you can see the lamb. That is the main dish there. That is the Patagonian lamb. And this is one of the options to cook it, because you have stew, you have different options, but this is on the stick. We call it al asador, cordero al asador. Okay, and the next picture, please, because we are finishing with Argentina now. Next one. Lau. Okay, another important activity, it is that you can go trekking on the glacier itself. Okay, so I did it once and it is amazing. You can see the picture here. You walk on the glacier itself for about 40 to 45 minutes. And at the end, you have a whiskey on the rocks with ice from the glacier, which is amazing, of course. Then you have the ice bar. That is a bar that is about minus 10 to minus 15 degrees. You get there, you enjoy your drink, you take pictures. So it is also a very nice experience from ice. Then we have a new proposal that is a cave. It is a prehistoric cave in the outskirts of the city of Calafate, and there you can have a private lunch or dinner. And the last one is about navigation. We have already mentioned the different kinds of navigations that we have, okay? So many different interesting options in Calafate. I think the next one is about the hotels, okay? So you have very nice hotels in Calafate. You don't have 5-star hotels, okay? So the superior ones are like 4 superior, okay? And all of them have this style that is mountain style. Just for you to know that you are not going to find this like posh modern architecture in Calafate, okay? It is more related to this style, but very good hotels, really. Next one. So we are finishing, let me see. Okay, and then I will mention very, very briefly 2 other options that we have, which are very nice. One is Mendoza. That is the wine region. This is very nice for MICE groups because in Mendoza you have more than 1,200 wineries, so 1,200 wineries. You can visit them by walking, horse riding, by bike. There we have very nice activities for, in addition to wine tasting, of course, but you can have a wine contest. You create your own wine, you create the publicity for your wine, the label for your wine, and you can have a contest between 2 groups, for example. This is very nice for time building. In addition, you have hot air ballooning, you have places to relax, you can have cigar tasting. So Mendoza, again, is related to nature, of course, and there you have rafting, horse riding, climbing, everything that is related to nature, and it is a very nice place for MICE. And the last one is Bariloche, which is also in Patagonia, but it is a little bit northern than Calafate, okay? It is only 2 hours, 2.5 hours from Buenos Aires, and Bariloche is a skiing resort, okay? So in the winter, you can go skiing in Bariloche, and it is also, I mean, plenty of nature activities to do, kayaking, horse riding, and everything. And in Bariloche, what is very important, craft beer. In Bariloche, we have Patagonia, which is one of the best craft beers in Argentina. And you have this wonderful place here, as you can see at the top left. This is the Patagonia bar in Bariloche. You can go there, privatize the area, have a lunch there, have some dinner, cocktail, whatever. It is a very nice experience. I was there in January, and really the place is amazing. Bariloche has been awarded by National Geographic one of the best views in the world, okay? Bariloche is also famous for its chocolate. So you can have many activities related to chocolate tasting and so on. Here you can see some other biking, rafting. Bariloche is also famous for fishing. So you can go there fishing, fly fishing, motor skiing, of course, okay? All this in the winter, that is your summer, let's say, okay? So winter is starting in June in Argentina, in South America. And Bariloche is one of the most important skiing centers that we have in Argentina, okay? But in addition to that, you have many options. And Bariloche is also very important because from Bariloche, as well as from Mendoza and from Calafate, you can cross to Chile. So we have along the border, Argentina and Chile, you have many passes, let's say, and you can go from Argentina to Chile just crossing the border, okay? And this is something very appealing for our clients who need or who want to combine two countries, okay? From Bariloche, you have the departure of the lakes crossing, which is a very nice experience. You get to Puerto Varas, you go across the lakes and the mountains, and it is amazing. Okay, and then some of my suggestions. This, of course, we can adapt to the client's needs, but in general, we suggest 2 nights in Buenos Aires, 2 nights in Iguazu, Calafate, Mendoza, or Bariloche, and finally 1 night in Buenos Aires, so as to take the flight back, okay? Let's see if we have some other thing. Okay, and this is, I'm sorry, it got a little bit long, but there are so many things to say about Argentina, Buenos Aires, and all the different destinations. I'm sorry.
No worries. Thank you very much, Natalia. And now we are moving to Chile.
Yes.
Okay, welcome. Bye-bye.
Well, welcome to Chile. As you might notice in the map, Chile is a neighbor country from Argentina. We share too many landscapes, but every country has its particularity, okay? Here you can see our team, our office. We can continue. International flight connections, an average of total duration of a flight from Varsovia to Santiago is 20 hours. We have British Airways and Air France that are the best airlines that connect our countries. Here you can see the South American map and where Chile is located. As you can see, Chile is the longest country in the world, and it's very narrow, so it's kind of difficult to show the total of the country. We have the 4 climates, very remarked, and also, as happens in Argentina, depends on the region that you are, is the temperature that you can experiment, okay? So Chile is there. We can continue with the slides. Welcome to Chile. We can continue. Here you can see an introduction of many different photos. You can see flamingos in the north. As you might know, Chile is very known worldwide for its wines. Carmener has an history. Carmener was lost in France and it came to Chile by a mistake. And here was sold as Cabernet and Merlot for many years. Up to somebody noticed this, began to study and noticed that it was a Carmener, so it's a very nice wine to taste. Then you have the Moais in Easter Island that we shall talk further. And a typical dance here is a festival, La Tirana, as you may see in the last photo. Okay, let's continue. You can see also glaciers. We shall have a fast trip from the driest desert in the world to the glaciers and ice millennium in the south. Easter Island with its typical dances, also its festival Tapatí, the main port that is Valparaíso, and below photos from San Pedro de Atacama that it's said that it's very similar to the moon surface, its landscape. Okay, let's continue. Santiago de Chile, our capital city, of course. Let's continue to see more details. We have our international airport, that is Arturo Merino Benitez. All international flights arrive here, and all domestic flights also pass here. Santiago is a very dynamic and cosmopolitan city. We have, Santiago is near of too many landscapes and tours here that is very attractive for tourists. You can go to a ski center to 1 hour and a half. You can go to wine valleys also to 1 hour and a half. You can visit a casino to 1 hour from distance. And it's a very cosmopolitan city. The contrast between their neighborhoods is too strong and too nice to see it with your own eyes. Okay, you go from the center that is very historical and cultural, and go to Sanhattan, that is named like that because of its modern buildings and so on. Okay, we can go. Special activities, as mentioned, we have wine valleys, we have a safari to do near Santiago, the ski centers and snowboarding and skiing. And also, wine is not all in Chile. We have too many different kind of beers that can be tasted, and do a tour of drinks here. And you can do a flight over Los Andes. That is our cordillera. Okay. We can go on. Here we choose some special activities, as mentioned, helicopter flight crossing the Andes. Scapology is a kind of game that you have to find clues and solve puzzles, very nice for mice groups. You can do a tour inside the Equestrian Club, bike tour in the city, bike tour in a winery. And as you might know, Pisco is our national drink. We share it with Peru, okay? I will mention that we will share. We do not fight for that. We share that drink, okay? So you can taste it. And as mentioned before, we have a very long coast. So that coast gives us a spectacular variety of seafood and fishes. So in Central Market, for example, in Santiago, you can taste it in a tour, in a food tour, okay? Let's continue, please. Here are some venues. You can see from Palace to, for example, to the other side, Parque Forestal, or well in the Sky Costanera, as we can see in the next slide. Sky Costanera is the, sorry, in the other, is the taller building here in Latin America, and we have in the 62nd floor, we have a view, a complete view from the city, so for groups and for leisure, and for a couple also, it's a very nice place to visit. Palacio Concha, etc. We have too many venues, from 80 people to more than 1,000, that we can prepare all the organization for groups and weddings and dinners and awards dinners, okay, and farewell. We can continue. Santiago by night. Santiago is, as mentioned, a very dynamic and cosmopolitan city. So the options to do by night, inclusive, we can go to an observatory and do stargazing here itself in Santiago, being a capital city. It's kind of craziness to think about this, but to 1 hour and a half, we go to Los Andes and have a spectacular stargazing experience. Let's continue, please. Also, we have international brands in Santiago from hotels as Mandarin, NH, Accor, Sheraton, and others as well, Ritz-Carlton, of course. And we reach to Easter Island. It's a mysticism, very Iceland. We have a lot of legends in terms of this. We can continue and see that this island belongs to Chile from 1888. It's considered the most permanently inhabited land on the planet. Here, the culture is very strong. They work very hard to preserve their culture and their traditions. They don't look very similar to the continent people. They are too different. And we can visit Rapa Nui, Easter Island, only via LATAM. It's a 5 hours flight. So if you want to visit this place, it's better to buy in advance your ticket flights. It's combined highly with Tahiti, okay, from Papet or from Santiago. Okay, let's continue. Here we can see the volcano, that it's a crater, the biggest crater on the island that is visited in one tour. We have the moais that are giant sculptures that around them is a lot of theories unexplained up to now, because in that moment that were built, nobody explains how they were built because the population there in the island was too small. Then you can see curanto in the top left, in the top right, sorry. Curanto is a typical food that is made around Chile, but here in the island is made of seafood. It's cooked on hot stones and covered by big leaves, okay? So we have Anaquena also in the last photo. Anaquena is a paradise beach. The water is too warm, so it's spectacular to have a cocktail there or to have the sunset there and admire all that. We can continue. Special activities. I didn't mention it before, but Chile was chosen 5 times in a row as adventure best destination. So nature, Chile is named an open nature. Wherever you are, you can see these marvelous landscapes and do very adventurous sports like diving, riding horses, etc. We can continue. And of course, the hotel that we have for all the options from luxury to tourist, explorer. Most of them are all inclusive, okay, because the island is a small territory, and mostly of them are all inclusive transfers, excursions, and meals. We can continue. We reach to Patagonia also. We share Patagonia with Argentina. They are very similar, but at the same time, they are too different because of its cultures and traditions. Patagonia is very extensive, it's very vast, okay? It has too many cities that we can mention, but we don't have now the time, and I guess I want you to have an idea that Patagonia is glaciers, is cold, is culture, is nature, okay? We have our Torres del Paine National Park that was declared the 8th wonder of the world. Puerto Natales is the intermediate city from Torres del Paine and Punta Arenas, and to reach to Patagonia, we have 3.5 hours from Santiago to reach to Punta Arenas, okay? It's the entrance to the Patagonia for us. And Carretera Austral is a new product, as we can see in the photo of the Turtle Cave, that is very nice to visit. It means you can do it self-drive. If you are adventurous, you can do it self-drive. Okay. We can see whales also in Patagonia from December to March. You can go in a navigation with ice from the glaciers. You can do trekking, and you can visit Magdalena Island, that is very nice. And most of our clients take that tour, that is Island Magdalena, to visit the Magellan penguins. We can continue. Special activities, bird watching, trekking, all adventure, okay? And of course, taste the local gastronomy that is too nice, and it's a very good experience. Also, you can go to Antarctica, it's very near, okay? So you can take a navigation, a cruise in Antarctica, and be fascinated for those landscapes. Hotels in Patagonia. We have also from luxury to more tourist hotels. Here we have shown the best. As you can see, we offer glamping with EcoCamp, Explora, that is also an all-inclusive hotel. Tierra Patagonia, that have a lot of architectonic awards. So the options are to variety for all the prices. Other options. Okay, we went through Santiago, Easter Island, and Patagonia, okay? But that's not all logically. We have too many other options. We have to choose, I don't know, 2 here to show you, but we have a lot of more. Atacama Desert is the driest desert in the world. Moon Valley, it's known as the surface of the moon. We have one of the cleanest skies in the world, with a very little quantity of rains. So to do stargazing and astronomical project in the planet are there. Okay, the town with a lot of culture, archaeology, the geysers that are geothermal fields that you can visit. very early in the morning. You pick up at 4 a.m. and then having a breakfast on the geyser that we can see in the next slide with having a breakfast in the geysers. Please continue. Okay, as you may see in the main photo, we can do a buggy safari, hot air balloon also in the desert, and adventure in the Moon Valley. Sometimes words and images talk more than words, okay? You can see that adventure and very romantic tours because it's a place to fall in love, really. We can go to another destination that we want to show you. Pucón and Villarrica, we have the Villarrica volcano, one of our flora and fauna, Andean condor, and the araucarias, ancient araucarias. We can find here in Pucón and Villarrica with hot springs and other hot springs that are very natural to have a relax, to go with groups, or just honeymoon, or just with your couple, okay? We can see more. Okay, more activities. You can access to the Villarrica volcano that is still active, is the more active. Here in Chile, we have 3,000 volcanoes, from which the 80% is active. Okay, so it's really adventurous to take a tour like this. We have an enchanted forest, do kayaking, and of course here in Pucón and Villarrica, Mapuche community is very strong, and as Rapa Nui, they still keep alive their traditions and show you can live in, you can sleep in a ruca, that is a typical houses of them. You can spend sometimes some nights there, and it will be marvelous, breathtaking, really. Of course, sailing in the Villarrica Lake. Okay, let's go to the next. This is a kind of saying goodbye. With the presentation from Chile and Argentina, stargazing. We hope to see you soon here. It's a marvelous destination. We have more than 20 borders between both countries, so the possibilities are too many to combine these countries. And of course, the landscapes you can marvelous between them. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. To be honest, I'm fully convinced. I hope that our attendees also. Very nice.
Come, now you need to come.
Yes, yes. Now it's time for Chile, for me. As Argentina, I'm already convinced that it's amazing. And Patagonia is my personal
You have already been to Argentina, yeah.
Yes,
as
so definitely.
We wait to Michal. We will pray something really special for you.
Thank you very much. So, guys, a question to our lovely attendees. Do you have any questions to Natalia or to Joanna? At the moment, I don't see any questions, so just some comments about recording and general statements. So I would say there are no questions for the moment. Means that the presentation was fully covering all the information, I suppose. So what about, there is one question now, what about the best time to come to Argentina and Chile?
Okay, Chile, for example, Chile is divided into many destinations. It will depend on the destination that you choose to tell you about the time. But for example, Santiago, you can visit all the year. To do skiing or snowboarding here in Santiago, you can visit from June to August. Easter Island also, Easter Island is better to visit in summertime, okay, from December to March, and about to have the Tapati Festival. And in Patagonia, as the winter is too strong there, also is recommended between November to March.
Mm-hmm.
So more or less the same, because both countries are long, so we cover almost all the climates in the same country at the same time. So the most important thing is that if you want to visit Perito Moreno, for example, Patagonia, but if you want to go to the glaciers, the best time is, as Joanna was mentioning, it can be from October, mid-October to March, end of March, okay? Because if you go there in what is our winter, which is starting now, some properties even close, and sometimes due to the weather, the tours might be canceled and so on. Also, the days are very short, because if you come in summer, the days you have daylight until 10:30 at night. But in the winter, the days are very short, and at about 4 in the afternoon, it gets dark. So that is why it's not advisable. Okay. Then as regards the other destinations in Argentina, no problem. You can come all the year round. Buenos Aires, Iguazu, Mendoza, no problem at all.
Maybe not very popular comment from my side. I loved it because I went during winter, so it was July.
Oh, really?
Yes. And why I loved Patagonia, because it was empty. So actually feeling the nature and being close to the nature without hundreds of people around the terraces, I really felt it. So it's my personal opinion, but as you mentioned, of course, the temperatures will be different, the vibe will be different. But my personal best was actually, it was the best choice that I've made about coming there during the winter season. It was July, if I remember correctly.
In which month did you? July. Wow. And was it too windy?
You know, actually, it was not that windy. It was around 0 degrees. Okay. We were coming closer to the glacier, so I would say it's still acceptable. I mean, as a Pole, I'm pretty used to it.
Okay, so it was good. Yeah.
It was good. We have some more questions.
I can imagine. Yeah, for you, it is something regular. Those temperatures are regular.
Two more questions.
Exactly.
Yes. Two similar questions regarding about opening of the borders. Do you have any news about borders opening?
Not on the Argentinian side right now. No. Unfortunately, no news about that yet.
About Chile, I suppose, as well, right?
Same thing. Yes, the same thing.
Okay, same thing. We have one more question from Ilona. What about some airport formalities in Argentina or Chile? Any special documents needed, especially on the way back? For example, payment or departure tax?
No. It's not requested.
No.
And visa.
No. Like for Argentina, all the taxes are included on the air tickets. Okay, so no problem about that. And then, of course, European passports do not need any kind of special documentation to go to Chile or Argentina.
Okay.
Passport and no taxes added.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. One more question from Sylvia. What is the best period for Atacama visit?
Atacama can visit all the year, but the best to visit logically because of its climate is as Patagonia, between November, December to March, April. We have a very strange circumstance on February, January, that is the florid desert that is full of rainy, and you have in the middle of the desert flowers, I don't know, very, very amazing, and that you can visit instead or despite the rains that you can experience.
Okay, perfect, great. One more question. Do you work with some Polish-speaking guides who live there?
Polish guides?
Polish-speaking guides.
Yeah, we do have in Buenos Aires, okay? Because we have a Polish community in Buenos Aires. It is not that common to have that in smaller destinations like Iguazu or El Calafate, but in Buenos Aires we do have.
Yes, here in Santiago, we also work with one guide. The rest of the regions are up until subject to availability, really. But here in Santiago, yes, we know a guide that works with us.
I know that each office in South America has a possibility to have the Polish-speaking guide, but in bigger cities, not like in El Calafate.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, one more question. Okay, Polish-speaking guides. Some people would like to have the recording afterward. If you need a recording or if you want the recording from my side, please send me an email. So I will send it to you directly. We will send you the link so you will have a chance to share it with the others or to watch it one more time. From Sylvia, another question. What about combining Bolivia and Uyuni? When to come? Do you organize tours to Uruguay? do you do the ferry boats, or sorry, do the ferry boats operate now?
No, they are not operating right now. The ones from Buenos Aires to Colonia or to Montevideo, they are not operating right now, but we work with that service, of course. We offer full day tour in Colonia, full day tour in Montevideo. We also work with longer stays, of course, like we work with hotels and suppliers there. So we do offer, we have programs for Uruguay, combining with Argentina in general, okay? But the ferries are not working right now.
Mm-hmm.
And to combine Chile with Bolivia, with the Ushuni Salar, can be done all the year. Even you can do an extension from San Pedro de Atacama, do an extension for 3 nights there and come back to San Pedro and then combine with Santiago. So all the year can be done.
So from your perspective, to combine 2 countries, you would need at least 6 nights, right? To make it more or less efficient.
At least 3 nights in Santiago, at least 3 nights in Buenos Aires. I guess Natalia agrees with me, at least.
Yeah, definitely. But it is also a good idea if you're interested in both countries, like to have a combination and you have just one long flight once, okay? And you get through Buenos Aires and then you go to Calafate, you cross from Calafate to Torres del Paine, you do Torres del Paine there, you go back to Santiago and you return from Santiago. So that is that you can do in about 7 to 8 days, we can say, okay? And you are covering 2 countries with only 1 international ticket.
Yeah. I remember I did the
same. So it's a good option.
Yeah, I did the round trip. I started in Brazil, and then we moved to Argentina, and then we ended in Peru, and we flew back from Peru. So it was possible, and it
exactly.
was
that is another option. We also have that. Yeah, definitely.
So round trip, as we mentioned at the beginning of our webinar, there is no problem to combine the countries within our offices. Last question.
Not at all.
Yes, indeed. A question from Ilona: do you have experience with Polish market, but incentive, not pilgrims?
Incentive itself, not up to now, but yes, Polish market for us is too important. We have that some kind of incentive in Easter Iceland from a group that came here to talk about the mysticism of the island. So the tours were the regular ones and the typical ones, but with a special interest and guides specifically designed for that. So it was a kind of incentive. But yes, Polish is too important for us, and we are especially in our destination, so we can prepare the things that clients need for this.
Yeah, also one thing which is worth stressing is that actually Johanna with her office joined Liberty Group not that long time ago. So the thing that we didn't have a chance to cooperate means only that simply we didn't have enough time to get this possibility. And with Argentina, Brazil, and Peru office, because Colombian office is also new, because Colombia and Chile joined the group at the same time. It was last year, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, 1 year. Yes,
so
March.
More or less 1 year, one and a half. With Brazil, Argentina, and Peru, we already did several MICE groups, and also the combinations. Brazil and Argentina, we had several groups, and the main combination was Rio, Iguazu, and Buenos. So we did it several times, medium, small, and big groups, up to, I think the biggest one for the moment was 110 people, around 100 people. So.
Yes, I agree. We have
Perfect.
another question.
Guys, I think that for the moment we don't have any more questions. So thank you very much for the presentations. First of all, thank you very much everyone for joining us today. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, positive, negative, feel free to send me an email or via Facebook, however you like it. I would be very pleased to answer your questions and acknowledge your comments. I hope you all liked it. So we see each other on Friday, because we are going to have the next webinar of the series around South America. So we will move to Colombia this time. I think it will be also very informative and interesting. So I will send you also the information regarding the coming event on Friday. It will be at 2 or 3 p.m. I will let you know. So once again, thank you very much, ladies, for the presentation. Thank you very much, all the attendees. I hope you like it. And hopefully...
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. It was a pleasure. Bye.